We're still talking about this story we first mentioned last Friday on Winging It about millennials. New information about millennials showing 36% of them are still living at home. That's 18 to 31-year-olds. And, Matt and I were talking about, because we know a lot of people who fit in that age group who are still living at home.
Yeah, I think it's something that a lot of people in my generation as a millennium are struggling with. So, of course, we brought in Lynn Shine, who's going to navigate us through this problem.
Lynn, this is a reality. This is fact. It's not just in our imagination. Right. The statistics support it. So parents out there, if you're living at home with your adult children, or if you're an adult child living at home, this is reality. So how do we deal with it? Because it's not the same as, like my daughter who's young to say, you're under my roof, my rules. How do you navigate this new dynamic, Lynn?
Well, I think that people are living at home. We're wanting to believe that we're living at home because of the economy. And really, it's because of parenting.
Oh, really?
And it is starting when your child's younger to help them be more independent and self-sufficient, and helping them, because we talk a lot about how parents are hovering and taking care of and cleaning for the kids and doing. So when they're living at home and they're older, don't make it so easy. Let them set a goal, because sometimes it is I'm watching you smile. So I think that sometimes it is perfectly fine, and it can be economical to say, listen, I'm going to be at home and save money for 2 years, and then I'm going to be out on my own. But when it's just, I'm here and my laundry's in my room folded for me and my meals are done, not such a good idea for the parents. We're not teaching our kids to be self-sufficient.
I see. So you put a lot of that on the parents. We were talking, baby boomers, it was don't trust anyone over 30. Gen Xers don't seem to trust anyone. But millennials have such a different dynamic with their parents. They're friends. They really are friends. They're not rebelling against that authority figure. So I guess, do you put it on parents then to maybe step in and make those boundaries?
The statistics that I looked at certainly say that, again, we want to believe it's because of the economy, and it's really not the economy as much. It's because, yes, the parents are taking care of too much, and we're meeting our needs, because it's wonderful to be with our kids, and yes, we're being very friendly with our children, and it's tough to watch them go. So we encourage sometimes for them to come back, but it's meeting our needs. We're not helping with relationships and finances.
So when it does become about the economy for the people at home that are living at home because of student loan debt, how does the child have that conversation with the parents to sort of explain their position, say, I'm not, mooching off of you, I'm not being a freeloader, this is just kind of where I need to be right now?
I think that you started it off very nicely, and I think that on both parts there should be, if you can't pay rent, okay, then there should be some sort of payment, like, you know what, I'll help with the garbage, I'll do the lawn while I'm here, I'll be in charge of making dinners, I'll be, because it really should be, once you're at a certain age, you should have some responsibilities, and the parents should encourage that.
I'm sure there's a lot of parents taking notes, and a lot of millennials cringing just a little bit listening.
Well, and we were also talking about how, as a grown person with a job, even if you're living at home, how do you have that conversation with your parents about, I'm not going to be home at 10 o'clock every night. I might sleep in until this. I might do this and this. And how do you really navigate that conversation?
Well, as a child, absolutely, you have to tell what your needs are and be realistic. But you also need to respect that your parents are your parents regardless of what your age is. So your parents will worry if they wake up at 2 in the morning and you're not at home. So there needs to be, I always encourage the older children to at least say, listen, I'm going to send you a text by midnight and tell you where I'm going to be, whether I'm sleeping at home, whether I'm coming home later, but there should always be a text at that specific time that you set, so that if your parent can go to sleep, but if they wake up and wonder if you're home, they can look and see whether you're, in the day of cell phones, that's pretty easy.
That is pretty easy.
Definitely easy to stay connected.
Yeah.
Good advice and good insight, Lynn. I think that's really interesting. We are going to send things now to break. When we return, we're also going to have